Now, rather than switch to a break screen and then come back and do the whole thing, I switched over here because I want to talk about this game, because I don't know if I want to continue. I don't know if I want to play it anymore. Like, I was really hoping. Now, Rashlev, I'm not underleveled. Actually, I'm not underleveled at all. Underleveled implies that I skipped something or I didn't do something that by this point I should be that level. But it's not. I'm not underleveled. I'm exactly correctly leveled. Hannet has been with the party since the beginning, so she's our baseline. It means there are 6 levels for the main character, plus all the other characters need to level up to her level before, or at least, at the very least, they have to level up to get to that quest level. Just enough of them that I can go in and do the thing. The problem is there's no protagonist, there's no antagonist, which is worse, right? There's nothing. I'm not striving against anything. There are 8 separate stories going in different directions, and they're all so generic and bland that I'm not really interested in going after any of them. So I wanted to like set aside this little section so that if we do end up not going back, if I do end up deciding not to play again, I'll at least have this sort of as a conclusion point to be like, okay, we've gotten to, how much did we play? 10, 12 hours? 10 hours, 23 minutes of gameplay. And yeah, and it's just kind of like, this is not what I expected, nor what I hoped for. It's pretty to look at. And honestly, like, I think the combat is quite fun. I just wish that it were paired with a game that had any kind of story at all. You know? Like, you lose a ton of levels using evasive maneuvers. Definitely didn't do any of that. I didn't flee combat even once on purpose. Yeah, there's meant to be a gap here where you just grind to gain your levels to be allowed to go to the next part of the game. And no, we've unlocked all the characters and they don't interact with each other like at all. I guess there's some minor interaction later on, but I want them to feel like they're already a party, right? Like, the end of Act 1 should have been, and we were joking about it, but the end of Act 1 should have been, oh God, we all have the same adversary. The mysterious thief that stole the orbs, the man who stole the book, the person who poisoned my dog. Like, it was just a snake. Like, there should be something that connects all of the characters together. Oh, that's true. We fled combat in the forest with that hard monster, but that's just because that area was too high level for us. I wasn't supposed to go there. That's a good point. Yeah, but I didn't try to avoid combat. I went in there and I wanted to fight them, but I would have lost, right? It wouldn't have worked. Yeah, like, you've assembled this group and they're still not connected. Like, imagine if they had made an Avengers movie where it was like, well, okay, so it's the Avengers, but none of them connect. Like, none of them fit together, right? So, yeah, it's weird. I was hoping that they would all be threads. They would be threads that weave together to tell a new story. And it goes to show when you do like a role-playing game, the way you kind of weave in a new character is you find something that all the characters have in common and you weave it in. Like when we introduced Yoji into Court of Swords, JP and I sat down and looked at the party and we were like, okay, what does the party want? What do they need? And let's use goals to weave Yoji into that party, right? Yoji wanted to get into the Devil's Vault. Yoji wanted to escape the City of Brass. And we're learning more of what's keeping Yoji with the party. So it's, yeah, it just feels like kind of amateur hour, right? Like no dialogue at all, which helps me attach to characters. And the characters just seem like nothing tied together. Individually, there's some cool stuff going on, right? Therion's quest might be cool, and Cyrus is cute. That's a funny thing. I'm curious what happened to Honnet's guy. But now I've just hit this wall of you have to earn it. You have to grind and suffer through relatively boring gameplay until you have earned the right to proceed with a story that we're not even sure is going to be worth a damn. So it feels, I don't want to say like a betrayal because that's a lot, but it feels like, I don't know. It just feels like mean. You know, so I am going to, when confronted with mean development behavior, I'm going to be like, no, I'm good. I'm good for today. I'm going to give it the rest of the day and I'll decide if I want to play tomorrow. And if not, I guess we'll start Banner Saga 2 instead. Or we'll find something to play for one day. But yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed. Disappointment's a hard thing to feel, especially when you spend fucking $80 on a game. I'm feeling a little like, it sucks. It sucks that it's like that. It's a bummer. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a shame that it had to go that way. I don't like making apologies for games. I think that a game should be good, and that should be the end of it. Like, you shouldn't have to make excuses for it. And I feel like if I wanted to continue, I would have to internalize some excuses to keep playing this game, and I cannot find any excuse compelling enough to progress. So I feel like I've already made the decision, but I want to sleep on it. So I guess we'll do that. This is why we play games, right? This is why we do the thing. It's not so that we can notch the finished games wall. It's so that we can analyze and assess and, you know, compare and contrast the experience we had with Octopath with the same experience with Banner Saga. Lots of stuff in Banner Saga, I was like, what the fuck? How dare you? How dare you, game? But all of the other stuff kept me compelled, kept me interested. And even the choices that were made in Banner Saga were like, fuck you, Adam. We made this game design decision that you don't agree with. But I was like, you know what? Fine. I respect that. I don't like it, but I respect that that's a choice you made to tell a story about your game. So I'm gonna dig in and we'll see. I don't feel like digging in. I feel like you got 10 hours of my time, Square Enix, and you're not entitled to any more. It feels kind of like the game was mush, which is a shame. Would have been more fun to play all the way through a game that we hated, but was still interesting to play. So yeah, cool. All right. Well, that was Octopath Traveler. That may be the end of it. It may not. I don't know. Thank you for watching the 10 hours of Octopath Traveler we've played so far, and we'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks for coming. Bye.